Darling, can't you see?
11 R&B legends, 11 final moments. Some of these words are heartbreaking, some are haunting, and one is so disturbing, it rewrites everything you thought you knew about that artist forever. These are their actual last words, verified, documented, devastating. Nothing could have prepared me for number one. Let's start at number 11. Number 11, Donny Hathaway.
People watching.
Here's what nobody told you about his last day. On January 13th, 1979, Donny Hathaway went into the studio and made something beautiful. And then a few hours later, he was gone. But let's back up, because you have to understand what Donny Hathaway was before we get to the ending. He heard everything differently. When he sat down at a piano, he wasn't playing music. He was accessing something most musicians spend their whole career searching for. Roberta Flack said plainly that Donny was greater than Otis Redding. Jerry Wexler at Atlantic Records called him the third genius on the label, after Aretha Franklin and Ray Charles.
I treated you.
You've heard This Christmas. You've heard A Song for You. You know what it sounds like when a human voice becomes something sacred. Then the paranoid schizophrenia took hold. By 1973, the man who could make God weep went dark.
And I'm singing this song to you.
5 years of silence. Then, 1978, he came back, reconciled with Roberta Flack, back in the studio. And on that last day, the final song he ever sang into a microphone was called You Are My Heaven.
I've sung a lot of songs.
A co-write with Stevie Wonder, a love song about something transcendent and perfect and just out of reach. He didn't leave a note. Nobody knows exactly what went through his mind that winter night when he fell from the 15th floor of the Essex House Hotel in New York. His manager said he'd been in good spirits all day. His family never fully accepted the coroner's ruling of suicide.
Is what I hope to be.
What I know is this: the last words Donny Hathaway ever spoke to the world through his music were about heaven. Whether that was a prophecy or a wish, I honestly don't know.
Came out in front when I was hiding.
Number 10, Gerald Levert. He never knew he was making his farewell record, and I think that makes it everything. Gerald was R&B royalty before he understood what that meant. Son of Eddie Levert of the OJs. He grew up hearing that legendary growl, and somewhere in his DNA, he got his own version of it. That warm baritone, that voice that felt like music wrapped around your shoulders on a cold night. If you've heard Baby I'm Ready or Thinking About It, you already know. By 2006, Gerald was 40 years old, and he had a new album ready. He called it In My Songs, not in my records, not in my career, in my songs. As if some part of him already understood that's where all of it really lived. He was working on a reality show, collaborating with everyone. He had a Grammy nomination that year and didn't even know it yet. When he went to sleep on November 9th, he didn't wake up. Found in his bed at his Cleveland home, an accidental overdose from prescription medications, pain pills he was taking legitimately for a shoulder injury and Achilles surgery. No warning, no chance to say goodbye. That album, In My Songs, came out 3 months after he died, and the title now feels like something more than a title. Because Gerald Levert never got to stand on a stage and say goodbye to the people who loved him, he left his last words the only way he knew how. In the music, some of y'all already know exactly which song of his hits differently now. You know the one. Real talk, only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's $1 coffee a month, and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it. Number 9, Sam Cooke.
Yes, it will. It's been too.
Before we get to what Sam said at the very end, you have to understand what this man was. He wasn't just a singer, he was the blueprint. Every artist on this list, directly or indirectly, owes some piece of their artistry to Sam Cooke.
Somebody keep telling me no.
Aretha, Marvin, Luther, Al Green. They all came through Sam. His voice was, and I'm choosing this word deliberately, perfect, not great, perfect. And by 1964, he was building something even bigger. He'd written, "A Change Is Gonna Come." He'd founded his own record label, SAR Records. He was becoming the Frank Sinatra of soul, with full ownership and control of his music. He was 33 years old, and the whole world was ahead of him.
In a little tent. Oh.
On the night of December 11th, he had dinner at Martoni's Italian restaurant in Hollywood with his producer Al Schmidt, talking about making a blues record. He was excited. He was planning. He was full of tomorrow. By 3 a.m., Sam Cooke was dead.
A long time coming.
Shot by the manager of a South Central motel under circumstances that have been disputed ever since. Muhammad Ali once said, if Sam had been Frank Sinatra, the FBI would have investigated. His friends noted injuries at the funeral that didn't match the official account, questions that were never fully answered. But here's what Sam Cooke actually said.
Then I go.
Right at the end, after the bullet hit him, he looked up at the woman who had shot him and said, "Lady, you shot me."
I go to the
4 words. The King of Soul spent his last breath not in prayer, not in fear, but in pure, bewildered accusation. And for a man who spent his career seeking justice and dignity through music, somehow that tracks.
hard living, but I'm afraid.
Number 8, James Brown.
I feel nice.
Christmas Day, 2006, Atlanta, Georgia, 1:45 in the morning. James Brown had checked into Emory University Hospital 2 days before because he'd been fighting a cough since his November tour of Europe. His longtime manager and closest friend, Charles Bobbitt, was right there by his bed. Think about that for a moment. The man who could outdance, outperform, outwork every human being on any stage, lying in a hospital on Christmas morning, 73 years old, slowing down for the first time in his life. At some point in those final hours, Bobbitt leaned in close, and James Brown looked up at him and said, "I'm going away tonight." Bobbitt didn't believe him. He'd seen James Brown survive everything. He told him, "No, you're not." And Brown said nothing more.
Sugar is fine.
Took 3 long, quiet breaths, closed his eyes, and was gone. "I'm going away tonight." There's no fear in those words, no pleading, no regret.
I
know that I can't do no wrong.
James Brown told Death what was happening the same way he told his band what groove to hit, as a statement. Almost as if he was the one in charge of the whole transaction. 60 plus years of performances, 17 #1 R&B singles.
I feel nice.
A career that literally invented the architecture of funk, hip-hop, and modern soul. And when the end finally came, he handled it like he handled everything else, with total authority.
Oh good, I got you.
Jesse Jackson said it best at the funeral. He was dramatic to the end. He was. Some people leave quietly. James Brown announced his departure.
I knew that I would.
Number 7, Teddy Pendergrass. This is a different kind of story because Teddy Pendergrass didn't lose his life once. In some ways, he lost it twice. The first time, March 1982. He was 31 years old, 5 consecutive platinum albums, women fainting in the front row at his concerts, the most dangerous, most commanding, most irresistibly powerful male R&B voice alive. And then a car accident in Philadelphia paralyzed him from the chest down. R&B lost something that night. It never fully recovered. But here's what Teddy did next, and this is the part that still gets me. He didn't disappear. He went through hell, found his faith, and in 1985, 3 years after the accident, he stood on the stage at Live Aid in a wheelchair, and he sang. Because what else was he going to do? Music was all he ever knew. In his memoir, Truly Blessed, Teddy wrote that the accident had brought him closer to God than anything else in his life. He said he believed God had a plan for everything, even this, not despite his circumstances, because of them. He spent 27 more years living fully, performing when he could, building a foundation for people with spinal cord injuries. On January 13, 2010, Teddy Pendergrass died from respiratory failure following colon cancer surgery. He was 59 years old, but his last statement to the world wasn't a farewell. It was that memoir, that performance at Live Aid. It was the whole second life he chose to live when he had every right to give up. And honestly, I think that might be the most powerful last statement on this entire list. We're heading into number 6 now. In the final 6, they're a different conversation entirely. Number 6, Lisa Left Eye, Lopes. Here's what's so strange about this one. Lisa Lopes left us her last words on camera. It was spring 2002. She was in Honduras with a group of friends, filming a documentary of her own life. 30 days of footage. She was fasting, helping build a children's education center, trying to figure out who she was on the other side of TLC, on the other side of fame, on the other side of all of it. And on camera, no makeup, no performance, no filter, she said, "I don't believe in death. I believe in transformation." She meant it spiritually. But then things started happening. Weeks before her death, a van she was riding in struck and killed a 10-year-old Honduran boy. And here's the part that stops me cold every time. The boy's last name was Lopes. Same last name. Lisa looked directly into the camera and said she believed the spirit following her had made a mistake, that it had meant to take her, but took him instead. She was filming herself processing her own premonition, and nobody in that room could fully understand what they were watching. April 25th, 2002, while driving near La Ceiba, Honduras, Lisa swerved to avoid a truck. The SUV rolled multiple times. She was the only one not wearing a seatbelt. She was 30 years old. The camera had been rolling the entire time. I don't believe in death. I believe in transformation. And maybe when you look at the footprint she left behind, the music, the mission, the documentary that carries her voice to this day, and maybe she was right. Number 5, Phyllis Hyman. I want to take a breath before this one. If you truly know Phyllis Hyman, not just her name but her voice, you understand why this belongs in the top 5. She was 6'1". She had a contralto voice that could reshape the air in a room. Tony Award nomination, standing ovations, a level of sophistication and artistry that the industry spent decades failing to properly market. And for her entire adult life, she lived with bipolar disorder. She didn't hide it. She talked about it. Her music lived inside it. All that longing, all that precision in articulating heartbreak, all that specific detail about what it feels like to love someone who isn't coming back. Her final album was called I Refuse to Be Lonely. She finished recording it just days before her death. One of her collaborators said later that the songs were her parting words. Every lyric a testimony to what it feels like to give everything you have and still feel the silence on the other side. On June 30th, 1995, just hours before a scheduled performance at the Apollo Theater, Phyllis Hyman left a note. It said, I'm tired. Those of you that I love know who you are. May God bless you. She was 45 years old, 6 days from her birthday. That night, the Apollo show still went on. Her band took the stage without her. Her family sat in those seats. And I think about those 5 words all the time. I'm tired. Because behind that voice, behind all that power and presence and unmistakable beauty, was a person carrying something that the rest of the world never fully had to see. She finally put it down. Number 4, Luther Vandross.
Check it out. I can't fool myself, I don't want nobody.
The greatest love singer in the history of this music, I'll say it plainly. He spent his entire career making music for slow dances at receptions, for late nights in apartments with someone you loved, for moments you wanted to hold still just a little longer. He was the narrator of love for an entire generation. And if you grew up in a black household in the 80s or 90s, Luther's voice is the soundtrack to somebody's wedding, somebody's kitchen, somebody's Sunday morning. You know what I mean? You already know. In April 2003, Luther finished the last vocals on what would become his final album, Dance with My Father, a song about a little boy standing on his father's feet in their Bronx apartment swaying to music. His father had died when Luther was 8 years old. He laid down those final notes. And then, within days, he suffered a massive stroke, in a coma for 2 months, fighting meningitis, fighting pneumonia. When he came back, he could barely speak. He could barely walk. The voice that had moved millions of people compromised in ways that visibly pained him. But at the 2004 Grammy Awards, Luther appeared on video to accept Song of the Year for Dance with My Father. Thinner, fragile, changed, and with everything he had left, he looked into the camera and said, when I say goodbye, It's never for long because I believe in the power of love. He sang those last 6 words. He died 14 months later, July 1st, 2005. He had no idea those were his last public words, but you could not have written anything more perfectly, more completely Luther, if you had tried for 1,000 years.
Forever love me. You are my shining star, my guiding light, my...
Number 3, Aaliyah. Some of y'all just took a breath. I know. Take your time. It was August 2001. She was 22 years old, and just months before she had told a reporter, "I'm 22, and I've accomplished so much. I just know I have to appreciate every moment." She was in the Bahamas filming the music video for Rock the Boat. Her portion of the shoot wrapped a day early, and she had a decision in front of her. Stay one more night as planned on a flight that was already chartered and ready, or leave now on a small twin-engine Cessna that was visibly, undeniably overloaded. Her boyfriend at the time, Damon Dash, was on the phone with her. He could tell something was wrong. She told him, "I don't like that plane." He said, "Then don't get on it." Aaliyah said, "I gotta do it." 4 words. She had the feeling. She said the feeling out loud. She was told she could say no, and she still got on that plane because she felt a responsibility to her team, her label, the people who had traveled with her, the video that needed wrapping. The plane took off at 6:50 p.m. It crashed 200 feet from the end of the runway. The pilot had cocaine and alcohol in his system and wasn't certified to fly that aircraft. And Aaliyah was gone. I gotta do it. That sense of duty, that work ethic, that commitment to everyone around her was the most beautiful and most defining thing about her. And on August 25th, 2001, it was also the last thing she ever said. If you were old enough to love Aaliyah in 2001, you know exactly where you were when you heard. Number 2, Whitney Houston. February 10th, 2012, the night before she died, Whitney called Brandy, and they talked for 3 hours. Brandy has since written about that call in her memoir, describing it as a conversation full of laughter and crying and prayer. She said she heard flashes of the old Whitney throughout it. The way she scattered baby and sweetie through her sentences like they were punctuation. The way she kept coming back to faith, no matter how dark the conversation went. Whitney talked about getting back into the studio. She talked about the film Sparkle. The comeback she believed was right around the corner. She was planning. She was hopeful. She was making tomorrow sound like something she was genuinely looking forward to.
Don't cry. We both know.
And then, as the call was winding down, Whitney told Brandy, "I'm going to be better. You'll see. This is just a season, not the whole story." And before she hung up, she said, "I love you more, baby girl. Always have, always will. I can't wait to see y'all sing the house down on Saturday." The next morning, Whitney Houston was found unresponsive in her bathtub at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. She was 48 years old. The cause of death, accidental drowning, complicated by heart disease and cocaine use. And the part that never fully leaves me, she believed it. Every word of that 3-hour phone call she believed. She thought she had more time. She thought this was a season with another season coming right behind it.
So I go.
This is just a season, not the whole story. She went out, as far as she knew, in the middle of a comeback, full of plans, full of faith, full of love. That's both the most heartbreaking and the most beautiful thing about her. Number 1, Marvin Gaye. April 1st, 1984, one day before his 45th birthday. By any measure, Marvin Gaye should have been celebrating. 2 years earlier, sexual healing had brought him all the way back. A Grammy, a worldwide tour, a whole new generation who fell in love with him all over again. He was the Prince of Motown, and he was back. But Marvin had moved back in with his parents in Los Angeles, and the relationship between Marvin and his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., was, and I want to be careful here but honest, one of the most fractured, most painful bonds in the entire history of American music. His father was a minister, severe, unpredictable, a man who, by his own wife's account, never truly loved his son. A man Marvin had spent his whole life trying to earn love from and never quite reaching. He had literally added an E to his last name just to put distance between them. On April 1st, Marvin stepped in to defend his mother during another argument. His father went to another room, came back with a gun. A .38 special that Marvin himself had given as a Christmas gift months earlier. He shot his son twice. Marvin's brother Frankie ran over from the guest house on the property, found Marvin on the floor, held him. And Marvin Gaye looked up at his brother and said, "I got what I wanted. I couldn't do it myself, so I had him do it. It's good. I ran my race. There's no more left of me." He was pronounced dead shortly after. The gun that killed Marvin Gaye was a gift, a Christmas gift, from Marvin to his father. I've sat with those last words for a long time. I got what I wanted. The man who spent his entire career asking what's going on had finally answered his own question. He wasn't killed, not entirely. He had helped arrange his own ending with the one person he could never fully stop loving, no matter how much pain that love brought him. And honestly, I still don't fully know what to do with that.